have you spoken to the feds or any of this in this current investigation?
I have not, but I am a willing participant, sir. Come look me up. You know how to get in touch with me. Because they mentioned me in this recent filing. They mentioned my case.
Yep.
Right.
So if you mention my case, and they have not added all of the superseding indictments, because they don't, if they add the superseding indictments, they have to add the witness list.
J-Lo clearly was caught throwing this weapon out.
Shyne was accused of shooting Julius Jones.
Oh, sorry, correct. But so why didn't Puffy and J-Lo get the proper, conviction?
Because their money is super long and people love adjacency to fame, celebrity. People are willing to sell their integrity for $1.
Y'all, it looks like J-Lo just landed herself in some serious trouble because Diddy's 1999 victim Natania Ruben just announced that she is working with the feds and that they are in the process of getting a warrant for J-Lo's arrest. Before y'all think that it's just for the 99 shooting, it goes way deeper than that because the streets are saying that J-Lo was smack dab in the middle of Diddy's freakoffs as well. Now, according to the Natania, the feds have allegedly got J-Lo on tape doing some horrible stuff to young people at these freakoffs. And it looks like the feds are finally making moves on people who were at Diddy's freakoffs, and J-Lo just might be one of the first on the list. Now listen, things are about to get real messy for J-Lo because Natania did not come to play. Rumors are swirling that the federal authorities might be preparing to reopen the case surrounding this infamous 1999 New York City nightclub shooting, a scandal that left a stain on some of the biggest names in the entertainment world. The incident tied together Diddy, his then girlfriend J-Lo, and his rising protege at the time, Jamal Shyne Barrow, in a night that went down in history for all the wrong reasons. Now, adding fuel to the fire, there are some whispers that Jennifer Lopez herself could be in the hot water if the case resurfaces. Over the years, there have been allegations that she may have played a role by smuggling a firearm into the venue and handing it off to Diddy in the moment leading up to the chaos. The events of that night took place on December 28, 1999, inside of a packed nightclub in Times Square, Manhattan. It was supposed to be a celebratory evening, a toast to Shyne's up-and-coming debut album and the rising success of Bad Boy Records. Diddy and J-Lo, one of the hottest couples of the era, were at the center of these festivities and everyone was in high spirits. Shyne was just 21 years old at the time. He was working hard to solidify his name in the music industry. However, what began as the night of celebration quickly spiraled into a violent disaster. According to reports, tensions flared and shots were fired, leaving 3 people injured and panic erupting in the club. The fallout was immediate and far-reaching. While Diddy and Lopez managed to walk away from the situation relatively unscathed, Shyne, on the other hand, bore the brunt of the consequences, ultimately serving nearly 10 years behind bars for his supposed role in the shooting. So what exactly happened that night, and why are they still talking about it 25 years later? Well, one of Diddy's from that night, a woman named Natania Ruben, just came out to make some bold claims about how the feds are working on indicting J-Lo and getting an arrest warrant for her, as well as bringing her up on accomplice charges. According to multiple accounts of what happened that night, as Diddy and J-Lo made their way out of the nightclub, the evening took an unexpected and violent turn. Diddy was carrying a bottle of champagne, accidentally bumped into a man named Matthew Allen, who was better known in the streets as Scar. Scar was not one to let even a slight go unchecked, so he pushed Diddy, and the confrontation escalated almost instantly. Tensions hit a boiling point when one of Scar's friends upped the ante in the pettiest way imaginable by grabbing a stack of cash and throwing it in Diddy's face in the most disrespectful way you can imagine. Well, that disrespect was the final straw, and according to reports, Diddy reacted immediately, pulling out a gun in the heat of the moment. Before anyone could comprehend what was unfolding, shots were fired, sending the club into complete chaos. In the aftermath, 3 people were left injured, including Natania Ruben, who suffered a gunshot wound to her face, an injury some witnesses, including Natania herself, attributed to Diddy. The club, which was once filled with music and celebration, quickly transformed into a crime scene, with fear and confusion taking over. And as the chaos erupted inside the club, Diddy and J-Lo wasted no time bolting from the scene. They hopped into a Lincoln Navigator and sped off into the night, reportedly stashing a gun in the trunk during their hasty escape. But their getaway was anything but smooth. In a moment of either panic or poor judgment, they ran a red light, which immediately caught the attention of nearby police. Ironically, the same move meant to help them evade trouble only landed them directly in it, and they were pulled over. Not for a shooting though, but for a routine traffic violation. And then their luck only worsened once they were brought to the station, because mugshots were taken as the situation spiraled further out of control. By then, J-Lo was reportedly in tears, completely overwhelmed by the escalating drama. And to make matters worse, her mother arrived at the station, and let's just say she wasn't there to offer comforting words. Witnesses claim J-Lo's mom unleashed a fiery scolding in Spanish, allegedly shouting, "I told you not to get mixed up with that man." Y'all, even Mama Lopez knew Diddy was trouble. The scene at the police precinct was nothing short of a spectacle, because Diddy, who was already a magnet for controversy, seemed calm by comparison, while J-Lo's emotional breakdown only added to the media frenzy that would soon swallow them both. The plot thickened even more when Wardell Fenderson, Diddy's driver at the time, took the stand and dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Fenderson testified that Diddy had attempted to bribe him, allegedly offering money in exchange for taking the fall and claiming ownership of the gun found in a Lincoln Navigator. His testimony painted a damaging picture of Diddy's determination to avoid blame at all costs, even if it meant throwing someone else under the bus. And the police investigation only turned up the heat. Authorities hit Diddy with 4 weapons-related charges, stacking a bribery accusation based on Fenderson's claims. It was a legal storm that could have easily ended his career, but Diddy was not about to go down quietly. His legal team launched an aggressive defense, one that leaned heavily on his and J-Lo's star power. Their argument revolved around the sheer absurdity of the situation. They claimed that it was just ridiculous that a hip-hop mogul and his glamorous Hollywood girlfriend, who was just beginning her meteoric rise, would be involved in moving through Manhattan with a gun stashed in their trunk. One of the lawyers told the judge, "I don't know if you know this, judge, but this person, Jennifer Lopez, is a very famous actress. To think Mr. Combs is walking around with her with a loaded gun? It's so ridiculous that it stretches the imagination." Well, against all odds, Diddy's defense strategy paid off in full. The jury sided with him, acquitting him of all charges in a case that could have easily destroyed his career. But what seemed like an impossible win became a landmark legal victory for this hip-hop mogul, allowing him to walk away with his freedom and reputation intact. But while the courtroom battle ended in triumph for Diddy, the story was far from over. Years later, Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, stepped forward with shocking allegations that cast a shadow over the already infamous case. According to Deal, Diddy's acquittal wasn't just the result of good lawyering, it was part of a calculated effort to ensure that he wouldn't take the fall. Deal claimed that Diddy went to extreme lengths to protect himself, allegedly hiring people to appear at the police station and offer fabricated testimonies. These statements, Deal alleged, were carefully orchestrated to divert suspicion away from Diddy and place the blame squarely on Shyne.
People was coming to Bad Boy Security, Paul and other people, and said that they were there. So they were giving them the DA's and the lawyer's card and tell them to go make a statement. And some of those people who were making statements, they was making statements against Shyne. Yo, bro, listen to me. Y'all hearing it from me, but Shyne said it himself in his interview. You supposed to be my brother, and you got people testifying against me? Those people were testifying, they were brought to Puff first, saying that what they saw against Shyne, what they saw Shyne do. The DA didn't even know those people existed.
Y'all, the betrayal was as cold as it was tragic, because Shyne, who had once been celebrated as Diddy's protege and was seen as a rising star under Diddy's mentorship, was abandoned at at the worst possible moment. Instead of receiving the support he might have expected, Shyne bore the brunt of the consequences, ultimately being sentenced to 10 whole years in prison for his role in the shooting. Now, while Diddy's career continued to soar in the aftermath, Shyne's life took a drastic turn. The incident not only ended their professional relationship, but also highlighted the lengths that Diddy was allegedly willing to go to protect his empire. But if that's not bad enough, once Diddy allegedly succeeded in making Shyne take the fall, he immediately dropped him from the label and cut him off completely. Shyne eventually exposed Diddy's conspiracy in a 2020 interview where he revealed that he had been set up by Diddy. He said, "Puff apologized. He did apologize to me for that when we met in Paris. He did say that he could have handled it better, but he was under a lot of pressure from the lawyers to throw me under the bus." Now, even after the courtroom victory, Diddy's legal troubles didn't fade away. The aftermath of the shooting brought on a string of lawsuits, one of the most notable coming from his former driver, Wardell Fenderson, the same man who had accused him of attempting to bribe him into claiming ownership of the gun. And in 2004, Fenderson filed a lawsuit alleging that the traumatic events of the chaotic night left him emotionally scarred. Now, while the case was eventually settled out of court, the terms of agreement were kept under wraps, fueling public suspicion about just how much Diddy was willing to pay to put the ordeal behind him. But these settlements definitely didn't stop there, because Diddy also reportedly reached financial agreements with 3 of the individuals injured during the nightclub chaos, including Natania Ruben, who had suffered a gunshot wound to her face. Now, after that, Diddy tried to move on from the scandal, and he rebranded himself, ditching the Puffy nickname in favor of P. Diddy. Now, at the time, the name change might have seemed like a fresh start, a clever PR move to distance himself from the drama. But as the years passed, it became clear that no rebrand could fully erase the memory of that fateful night, especially because Diddy seems to be the same bad guy that he was that night. So why are feds suddenly blowing the dust off this 25-year-old case, especially when it seems like everybody involved has long moved on? That's the million-dollar question, and the answer is where things start to get spicy. Well, Lil Rod might have had something to do with all of that, because in his recent lawsuit, the rapper made a surprising reference to the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting, seemingly out of nowhere. While his exact motives for bringing it up remain unclear, his mention of the case appears to have caught the attention of federal authorities, and Lil Rod's lawsuit might just be the spark that reopened the door to a case many assume was closed for good. Now, whether his statements hold any kind of new evidence or simply stirs up the unresolved questions, one thing for sure and 2 things for certain, it has caught the feds' attention. In a section of the lawsuit titled "Mr. Combs Used His Power and Influence to Threaten and Intimidate Mr. Jones," Lil Rod accused Diddy of wielding his power and influence to threaten and intimidate him. According to claims, Diddy allegedly pulled a firearm on Lil Rod when he wouldn't comply with his demands. To add insult to injury, Diddy reportedly tried to intimidate him further by boasting about getting away with shooting people in the past. It read, according to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs is very forceful in demanding Mr. Combs does not take no for an answer, and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on Mr. Jones if Mr. Jones did not comply with his demands. As detailed above, Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face. Not Hannibal Lecter. The lawsuit then went on to say, on another occasion, while standing in Mr. Combs' bedroom, Mr. Jones was forced to watch as Mr. Combs displayed his guns and bragged about getting away with shooting people. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for a shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shyne. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. But I guess this shouldn't be surprising, because in the indictment documents that were released by the feds, they accused Diddy of allegedly using his very extensive network of powerful celebrity friends and other powerful connections to get away with crime. The documents said the defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his in commercial Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. The feds also revealed that they had been monitoring Diddy's so-called parties for years, and that multiple big-name celebs have been involved in the freak. The documents said Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended acts with male workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freakoffs. Now, for a while, this particular drama seemed to get lost in the shuffle, especially given the other heavy allegations Diddy has faced over the years. But now Natania Ruben isn't backing down from her quest for justice. In a new interview, she stood her ground, emphatically stating that J-Lo is far from innocent in this whole mess. According to Natania, J-Lo wasn't just a bystander. She knew exactly what she was doing that night. It seemed like Natania is determined to ensure that J-Lo doesn't escape accountability, despite her attempts to paint herself as a
J-Lo clearly was caught throwing this weapon out.
Shyne was accused of shooting Julius Jones.
Oh, sorry, correct. But so why didn't Puffy and J-Lo get the proper, conviction?
Because their money is super long and people love adjacency to fame, celebrity. People are willing to sell their integrity for $1.
But interestingly, there have been claims that J-Lo's involvement with Diddy didn't end after the shooting that night, because allegedly she continued to be involved with him on the low. There are rumors that J-Lo was involved in those with Diddy, especially the ones with minors. According to a blind item, 50 Cent somehow got his hands on some tapes that Diddy recorded during these and it looks like J-Lo was caught up in the mix, and she probably wasn't aware of it because Diddy secretly made these recordings. In Little Rod's document, he said, while living and traveling with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones discovered that Mr. Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his homes. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs has recordings of celebrities, music label executives, politicians, and athletes. Upon information and belief, due to his treasure trove of evidence he has in possession, Mr. Combs believes that he is above the law and is untouchable. The blind item said 50 Cent is reportedly giving wires to the Hollywood friends that the FBI have naughty tapes of Jennifer Lopez having intercourse with underage girls and boys at the P. Diddy parties, and Lopez was caught in several naughty tapes that were seized by the FBI in the P. Diddy house's raids. That's the reason Ben Affleck and Lopez are getting divorced, as the FBI informed Affleck of the videos and the future indictments coming. So back to Natania Ruben, because she revealed that Diddy had allegedly bought his way out of trouble.
Through more in the government filings against Combs this week was that tape, the Cassie tape, and that the feds are alleging that he paid $100,000 to make that tape disappear. I would assume that doesn't surprise you.
No.
How much of that do you think has been going on over the past 25 years?
A ton of it.
Okay.
A ton. And here's why. First and foremost, if he paid $100,000 for the Cassie video, how much do you think he paid the club owners for the video of him shooting me?
She then revealed that she's fully open to cooperating with the feds on the investigation, hinting that she might have some low-key information that could take J-Lo down too. Natania seemed determined to get whatever lengths that she needed to go to hold J-Lo accountable, suggesting that there might be more to the story than what has been revealed to the public. Y'all, J-Lo might want to keep her lawyer on speed dial because Natania is not playing.
Have you spoken to the feds or any of this in this current investigation?
I have not, but I am a willing participant, sir. Come look me up. You know how to get in touch with me. Because they mentioned me in this recent filing. They mentioned my case.
Yep.
Right.
So if you mention my case, and they have not added all of the superseding indictments, because they don't, if they add the superseding indictments, they have to add the witness list.
She's coming for her, and she's coming hard. It looks like Natania's not gonna let this go until she gets the justice she feels she deserves. And this could be a full-blown courtroom showdown, and J-Lo better be ready for it, especially because there are now reports that the feds are looking to get an indictment against J-Lo. And get this, it goes way beyond this 1999 shooting that J-Lo's role is in, but also her role in Diddy's freakoffs and how she allegedly helped him essay victims. Y'all remember the big sued Diddy accusing him of allegedly essaying her back in 2000, right? When she was just 13? Well, according to Variety, Jane Doe was 13 years old on September 7, 2000, when she tried to attend the MTV Video Music Awards. She could not get into the award show without a ticket and therefore approached several limousine drivers after the event to see if she could attend an after party. One of the drivers allegedly worked for Combs and drove the plaintiff to a party where she signed a non-disclosure agreement and accepted a drink. They went on to say that after just one drink, the plaintiff alleged that she had begun to feel woozy and lightheaded and made her way to an empty bedroom to lie down. Soon after, Combs allegedly entered the room with a male and female celebrity. She then alleges that she was raped by the male celebrity as the female celebrity watched, before allegedly being raped by Combs as both celebrities watched. The suit goes on to allege that after the plaintiff, who now lives in Alabama, fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy's lawyers have since denied these allegations, of course, saying Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, their legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never essayed anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. Well, the streets are saying now that J-Lo is allegedly the woman in question. In newly resurfaced photos, we can see Diddy and J-Lo might be getting into a messy fight on the night of that alleged incident. According to reports, J-Lo and Diddy arrived at the venue with her sister Linda, manager Benny Medina, record executive Damon Dash, as well as several girls and various members of their entourage who made their way to the club's VIP area. Inside, Diddy could be seen pouring glasses of pricey champagne and dancing with guests. The artist appeared eager to celebrate after J-Lo, who was 31 at the time, had secured the award for Best Dance Video for her hit song Waiting for the Night, according to the eyewitnesses. The report said that, for reasons that are unclear, tensions escalated, leading to a dramatic confrontation in the middle of the festivities. Lopez, who was standing on an elevated platform above the rest of the crowd, can be seen scowling at her then boyfriend, who was below her pouring champagne for other party guests. The two eventually get into an angry exchange, with J-Lo's sister seen standing nearby attempting to lighten the mood by dancing. Meanwhile, observers had watched in disbelief as the couple's argument unfolded. After a couple of hours filled with arguments, Diddy decided it was time to leave the party. He took Lopez and their entourage, including the girls, and exited together. The source said it is unknown what the argument was about. So yeah, y'all, looks like J-Lo has a real reason to be scared because things are not looking good for her. Now, I want to know what you guys feel about this, so drop your thoughts and comments below and then check out this next video.